Assalamualaikum dear students, hope you are fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome to NIVS Home School. I am Sabrina Hawk, Assistant Teacher of Science, National Adult English Version School, Day Shift. Dear students, today I am going to take a biology class for class 9 student on the based on chapter 5, and this is the third part of the chapter. Along this part we will discuss the CQ1 and 2 of the exercise. So let us move forward to today's topic. The name of the chapter is Food, Nutrition and Digestion. Today we will start from digestion. The human body is composed of innumerable cells. To keep it alive and functioning, it requires food, but most of the time foods are eaten as complex and organic compound. The body cells are unable to absorb this directly, so to make it absorptionable, food is break down into simple, easy and soluble form. Now come to digestive system. There are particular system for digestion of food called the digestive system. This is the system by which food substances are broken down into absorptionable substance for the body and absorbed. The digestive system consists of alimentary canal, digestive gland. Alimentary canal start from the mouth to anus. Food substances turn absorptionable in two ways, as mechanical process. Second one is chemical process. First is mechanical process. Teeth help in chewing or masticating foods. First, the food substances break into small pieces within the stomach and intestine. These particles turns into pulp. Now come to the chemical process. Chemical process is the second step of digestion. Secretion of digestive enzyme helps to enhance chemical reaction. So the compound break into simple soluble component. Intercellular reaction also depends on enzyme. Alimentary system or alimentary canal. This is a canal running from the mouth to the anus. Some parts of this canal are broad while some are narrow. The main part of the canal are first one, mouth. The mouth starting point of the alimentary canal. It is transverse opening below the nostril and bounded by the lip. Buccal cavity. The buccal cavity is contains teeth, salivary gland. Dear students, look, this is the picture of digestive system. This is the mouth cavity, or inside the mouth there is the buccal cavity, and inside the buccal cavity there is salivary gland and also our teeth. And teeth helps to cut, grind, chew the food into small pieces. The function of the tongue are to move food around the mouth with the mastication, and to the taste. Saliva is the secretion of the saliva gland. This gland is located below the ear, at side of the jaw and below the tongue. Salivary juice secreted from the salivary gland contains mucin, and which makes the food slippery and helps in swallowing. The secretion contains the enzyme named ptyalin, and maltase take part in digestion. Now come to the tooth. Dear students, we have in a matured person 32 tooth in total. In one jaw 16 tooth and another jaw 16 tooth. Now come to the first. There is 4 types of tooth. First one in incisors, that incisors are used to cutting and biting foods. Then second one is canine. Canine are using for tearing and grasping. Then premolar. These teeth are specialized for the crushing and grinding. And last one is molar. These teeth are used in the crushing, grinding. And last 2 teeth of the gum is called the wisdom teeth. And structure of the teeth we will learn for later the structure. Now we will see the different types of teeth and its arrangement. Look, this is the picture of upper jaw and this is the lower jaw. In this jaw there will be 16 teeth, and in this jaw there will be 16 teeth. If we think this is the middle line of the upper jaw, these two are incisor. That means in one jaw there will be 4 incisor, and after the incisor there is a long teeth, and this is canine, and we also observe this canine in the carnivorous animals. They have the large canine. We also have a large canine than the other teeth. Now after canine there is 2 premolar. A premolar helps to crushing and grinding the food. After 2 premolar, there is 2 molar teeth, and this molar teeth also helps to crushing and grinding the fruits. And after molar there is wisdom teeth. That means in total we have 8 incisor teeth in 2 jaw and 4 canine teeth in 2 jaw. That means 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 canine teeth, 8 premolar teeth, 8 molar teeth, and 4 wisdom teeth. Now come to the structure of teeth. Look, this is the picture of teeth. The upper part, the teeth can be there is a 3 parts. That first one is crown, that we see the outside of our gum, and the lowest part is known as root, and which part is attached with the gum, that means between the crown and the root, is known as neck. And crown is part above the gum, then the inner part of the below the gum is known as root, and the tooth between the crown and the root is of the tooth composed of two things, that is dentine, enamel. And after dentine, this is the dentine, the yellow colored part, and this outer side part is enamel. It is the hardest part, and both are composed of calcium phosphate, calcium carbonate, and fluoride. And after the dentine there is the pulp. The dentine surrounded a pulp cavity with blood vessel, that means artery. If you look, this reddish part is pulp. It has the artery, veins, and soft cell, and the nerve running through it. The blood supply nourishes dentine with the nutrients and oxygen. Now look, the next part is cement. The main part of the tooth, dentine, is covered with a thin cover. It is known as cement. Look, this green colorish part is known as cement. Now come to our pharynx. After the buccal cavity there is a pharynx. The next part of the buccal cavity is the pharynx. The food process to the oesophagus through the pharynx. Now come to the oesophagus, the long tubular way that the tube stretching from the pharynx to the stomach is the oesophagus. Food passes to the stomach through the oesophagus. Now come to the stomach. The stomach is a bag-like organ located in between the oesophagus and small intestine. Its wall is thick and muscular. The inner surface of the stomach is numerous gastric gland, and continuous contraction and relaxation of the muscular wall of the stomach turns food materials into pulp or semi-fluid mass is called chyme, and the juice secreted from the gastric glands helps in digestion. Now come to intestine. The coiled duct extended from the behind of the stomach is the intestine. The intestine divides into 2 parts. Small intestine, the coiled long duct which is extended from the stomach up to the large intestine is called the small intestine. It is divided into 3 parts: duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Bile duct from the gallbladder and pancreatic duct from the pancreas join just before it and opens into duodenum. Bile from the liver and pancreatic juice from the pancreas and enters the first part of the duodenum. The inner wall of the intestine bears finger-like projection called villi, and there is intestinal gland in the inside of small intestine. The villi absorb the most majority of small soluble food molecule produced by digestion. Now come to the large intestine. The region from the end of the ileum to the anus is the large intestine. It is wider part of the alimentary canal. The large intestine is divided into 3 parts: cecum, colon, and rectum. The small finger-like projection is connected to the cecum. It is known as appendix. A large intestine absorbs water it forms and deposit undigested part of food boil. Now come to anus. This is the aperture at the end of the alimentary canal. This aperture is the anus. Now come to digestive gland. There is several digestive glands. First one is salivary gland. There are 3 pairs of salivary gland. A pair of parotid gland located in front and below each ear, a pair of submaxillary gland below the jaw, and a pair of sublingual glands below the tongue open into the buccal cavity through the various ducts. Secretion from the salivary gland is known as saliva. Salivary juice contains water and enzyme named ptyalin. Liver is situated just below the diaphragm of the right side of the stomach. It is largest gland of the body and deep brown color. The right lobe of the liver is larger than left lobe. Liver consists of 4 incomplete lobes. Each lobe consists of lobule. Each lobule contains numerous cells. These cells produce bile. Bile is alkaline in nature. Different types of biochemical reaction takes place in the liver. So also it is also called the organic laboratory. Beneath the liver, the gallbladder is attached. It is stored bile. Bile is deep green color and bitter taste. The gallbladder is connected with the bile duct, pancreas, and connected with the pancreatic duct. And these two ducts together form common duct open into duodenum. Now come to the function of liver. The liver produces bile ingredients. The bile are mainly water, bile salt, bile, then cholesterol and mineral salt. It is stored in the gallbladder. When necessary, the bile passes to the duodenum and take part indirectly in the digestion. There is no enzyme in bile. In liver stores excessive glucose and glycogen. The bile neutralizes the acidic chyme and creates alkaline medium. The favorable digestion become food is not digested in acidic medium. The bile breaks fat or oil into minute droplets. It becomes easier for lipase to digest fat easily. Excessive amino acid are taken to the liver. After various chemical reaction, urea, uric acid, ammonia, nitrogen products are produced. This helps in the absorption of fat. When blood sugar falls below the normal level, the glycogen stored in the liver reconvert into glucose and transmit to the bloodstream. Thus, the level of glucose remain under control. Now come to the pancreas. The pancreas is the important mixed gland obliquely at the back of stomach. The pancreas secretes digestive juice as well as hormone. It controls the level of glucose. So, the pancreas acts as both as endocrine and the exocrine gland. That means it also produces glucose. That's why it is called endocrine gland. The pancreas juice passes to the duodenum through the pancreatic duct, which is just common bile duct. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, which contains enzyme trypsin, lipase, and amylase. These enzymes helps in digestion carbohydrate, protein, and fat, and maintain acid-base balance, water balance, and control body temperature. The pancreas also acts as an endocrine gland and secretes essential hormones such as insulin and glucagon. Then these two hormones have an important role in keeping glucose under control in other physiological process. Now come to gastric gland. Gastric gland in the stomach wall are called gastric gland. The juice secreted from the gastric gland is trypsin, lipase, and amylase, known as gastric juice. Now, intestinal gland, villi located in the wall of small intestine contain intestinal gland. The secretion of this gland is known as intestinal juice. Now come to the digestion of food, the biochemical process by which larger complex insoluble and insoluble food substances bake into absorptible and soluble simple food element is present in presence of enzyme and hormones is called digestion. First, food substances bake into simple soluble form and then it diffuses through the cell membrane and enters the cell easily. Lastly, blood transports the digested simple ingredients to the different parts of the body. Now come to digestion in mouth. Dear students, we just know in previous pages that in the mouth with the salivary gland, first we chew the food and it makes in small pieces, and then from the salivary gland there is the amylase. Salivary has the amylase and its ptyalin and or the salivary amylase, and it helps to digest the carbohydrate food, and it's mixed up with carbohydrate food, and in the buccal cavity the digestion of carbohydrate start. Now come to the digestion in stomach. When the food reaches in the stomach, gastric juice is secreted from the inner wall. The juice contains the following main component. First one is hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid destroys the germs containing the food substances convert inactive pepsinogen into active pepsinogen and creates acidic medium to help the proper function. Look, this inactive pepsinogen turns in the presence of hydrochloric acid into active pepsinogen. Now pepsin. Pepsin is the enzyme which breaks protein into compound named the polypeptide, which contains 2 or more amino acid. Look, this is the protein. In presence of pepsin, it turns into polypeptide. The digestion of carbohydrate and fat do not occur in stomach because gastric juice do not contain any particular enzyme. Now come to the digestion in small intestine. When the chyme enter the duodenum, two secretion, pancreatic juice from the pancreas and bile from the liver are released through the bile duct. Both of these secretions are alkaline in nature. Pancreatic juice neutralizes the acidity of the chyme. The enzyme of the pancreatic juice are continue the digestion process. The protein carbohydrate, that means maltase, which is mixed after the salivary amylase, the carbohydrate become maltase and start fat digestion. The bile neutralizes the acidity of food and creates alkaline medium. The bile salt, one of the constituent of the bile, and then emulsifies then fats, means it helps the fat droplets to mix up with water. It becomes easier to enzyme lipase to digest the fat. Lipase convert the fat droplets into fatty acid or glycerol. Look, fat in presence of lipase become fatty acid and glycerol. Pancreatic juice contains trypsin, lipase and amylase. Look, polypeptide in presence of trypsin become amino acid and simple peptide, and we can absorb simple peptide and amino acid but not the polypeptide, and come to the amylase, convert into starch such as simple glucose. Now here in presence of amylase, starch turns to simple glucose and our body can absorb only the glucose. Now absorption of digested food. Most of the food are fully digested in the small intestine in presence of enzyme and converted to simple absorbable ingredients. The inner surface of the intestine is covered in finger-like projection called villi, which contains capillary network. That is villus also contains a lymphatic vessel in the middle, which is called the lacteal. The lacteal is surrounded by blood capillaries. As villi are folded, it increases the surface of area of ileum, and here absorption of food ingredient take place. This food vessel, blood vessel join together and form a large blood vessel called the hepatic portal vein, which carries blood to liver. Fat droplets are absorbed in the rectal of the villi. First it carries by the lymph, then it mixed with the blood streams. After reaching into the cell, bile salt becomes separated from the fatty acid. At the time of flowing blood, a kind of substances come out of the capillary. This watery fluid is lymph. Lymph supplies nutrients and to the cell and collect the waste products and returns to the blood stream. After absorption, the rest chyme reaches to the colon. Now come to the digestion in large intestine. No chemical reaction or digestion take place in large intestine, but water remains within the undigested food is absorbed here. There remains a small portion of protein, lipid, fat and excess enzyme. Then water and salt are reabsorbed from these products and are transformed into blood. Then undigested products concentrated here and turn into feces or stool. Feces are stool in the rectum and pass through the anus. Stomach has numerous gastric glands. Assimilation. The process of converting digested food substances into continuous of the protoplasm is called assimilation. It is a anabolic process. Through this action, enzymes, simple nutrients are converted into complex ingredients such as amino acid, glucose, fatty acid and glycerol. These ingredients separated all over the body through the blood. Digested food substances are converted into protein, carbohydrate and lipid due to the action of enzyme and secreted from the protoplasm, and this result is in the repair of worn out the tissues and helps in growth. Now come to the diseases causes the intestinal disorder. Now this is the dyspepsia. Dyspepsia is indigestion, and there are many causes of dyspepsia. That causes can be infection in stomach, depression, disease of pancreas, thyroid problems, enzyme deficiency, diabetes, etc. Pain in upper abdomen, abdominal flutters, and the feeling in a full stomach brings sensation in the chest, nausea or vomiting, chest pain, sore base, etc. are the symptoms of dyspepsia. Dyspepsia problem may occur here because of the stomach or intestinal ulcer. To prevent dyspepsia, we need to avoid overeating, chew food slowly and properly, avoid smoking, and if necessary consult a physician to find out the cause and take medicine. Now come to dysentery. Dysentery caused by infection of a protozoa named Entamoeba histolytica or by a bacteria named Shigella. Dear student, frequent bowel elimination, then abdominal pain, mucus and the blood in the stool are the inability to the digest dairy products are the symptoms of dysentery. It is necessary to follow treatment dysentery prescribed by the physician, otherwise it may turn into fatal. The things we need to prevent dysentery as follows: to drink pure water, wash fruits and vegetables carefully, and wash hands with soaps or ash after passing stools. Use sanitary latrine and wash hands and utensil carefully. Now come to constipation. When the stool becomes hard, the stool does not pass for 2 or more days, this condition is known as constipation. There are various causes of constipation like withholding bowel pressure, excessive water absorption from the undigested part of the food in the colon, slow movement of the undigested part of the food through the alimentary canal, and leading a lazy life, intestinal disorders, slowing down the contraction of the colonic muscle, and not eating food, continuing rough phase, increasing the probability of constipation. Due to constipation, partial eating become difficult. To prevent this disease, the things to do are: eat fibrous food, drink enough water, regularly eat vegetables, fruit, apples, banana, coconut, dates, orange, papaya, pineapple, tea, etc. One should make a habit to regular walking and passing stool. Gastric and peptic ulcer. An ulcer is the inflammation or sores in the stomach or intestine. A peptic ulcer indicates open sores or ulcer of the gastric tract. If the ulcer is in the stomach, it is called gastric ulcer. If it is occur in duodenum, it is called duodenal ulcer. Irregularities in eating cause the over secretion of acid, and if this is continuous as long time, the sores in the stomach and intestine occur. The research of physician Robert Warnes and Barry Marshall has shown that through irregularities or in taking food, taking spicy food or stress may occur peptic ulcer. The main reason is a bacteria named Helicobacter pylori, that is H. pylori. For the discovery, they received Nobel Prize in the medicine. Previously, it was thought that there is no bacteria could ever survive in the strong hydrochloric acid inside the stomach. In order to prove this, then Barry Marshall drank a cocktail consisting a beaker of full H. pylori bacteria and becomes seriously ill and from a peptic ulcer. And Marshall took a great risk to his life which should not be followed. Then feeling continuous due to pain in the mid part of the abdomen causes this disease. Pain increases in the empty stomach when taking excessive fatty food, it may cause vomiting. Sometimes blood may come out with stool and vomit. This disease can be ascertained by the endoscope or barium X-ray. Now come to full recovery. Antibiotics should be taken as prescribed by a physician along with the eating on time. Now come to the appendicitis. In the right side of our lower part of the abdomen, a finger-like punch that is joined with the cecum of the large intestine is appendix. The infection of the appendix causes the appendicitis. Pain stirs around the navel after some times. The move downwards the right side. Loss of appetite, vomiting and the constipation is the symptom of the appendicitis. In this situation, the physician should be consulted. If situation demand, patient should be taken to the hospital and appendix should be removed by surgery. The infection of appendix is severe. It can be burst and may fatal. Now come to worm related disease. Worm lives in the body as parasite. The human body is a host for the different kinds of worms. Roundworms, threadworms and tapeworms live in the human intestine as parasite. Abdominal pain, weakness, indigestion, feeling uneasiness then in the abdomen, nausea, insomnia, loss of appetite, pale face, anemia, swelling of hand and leg. The enlarged abdomen are the symptoms of worm related disease. And preventive measures are as follows. Eat the raw fruits only after proper washing hands properly before eating, using sanitary latrine, not walking barefooted, or not eating semi-cooked food. Now come to diarrhea. Anyone is suffering from the loose motion at least 3 times in a day is known as diarrhea. Though people all ages suffer from diarrhea, the condition of the infant deteriorates more quickly. The water and salt leaves the patient's body. As the water decreases, the patient become weak. So shortage of food and water are notices. All the time proper treatment is not ensured, then the patient may be even die. Then what is the prevention? The disease spread more quickly in case such as drinking impure water, eating to stale and dirty food, and using unclean utensil, intake the food with dirty hands. And diarrhea may caused by the germ like virus, bacteria or protozoa. Rotavirus is one of the main causes of diarrhea, and if anybody attack with diarrhea, they have to take the oral saline or rice saline. And 82% of death due to the rotavirus occurs in the deprived poor countries. The percentage of death high in the poor countries. The severity of this disease has also been found in the developed countries, but death rate is comparatively less. Now we will solve the MCQ. Which of the following nutrients in the plants is macronutrients? Dear students, potassium is the macronutrients. Then chlorosis is caused by nitrogen deficiency, sulfur deficiency and iron deficiency. That means answer will be 1, 2 and 3. That means D. The 5 years old Sanjana can see all the writing in her book, but at the night she cannot see the writing clearly. Which vitamin deficiency does Sanjana have? It is vitamin A deficiency, because it is night blindness. Now come to the next question. To prevent this disease, which food should be Sanjana eat? Liver also have vitamin A, carrot also have vitamin A, and mola fish also have vitamin A. That means Sanjana, it will be D. Sanjana will have to eat liver, carrot and mola fish both. That means answer will be D, 1, 2 and 3. Now students, we will discuss the creative question answer. First creative question of this chapter. Dr. Raihan spent most of the time in the laboratory, so his body weight is increasing. On the other hand, his younger brother Jahir is regular player of the national football team. For that he has to play and take exercise daily. First one is question: what type of food is source of nitrogen? B is what do you mean by high protein? Explain it. And C is which food should be B, in the much quantity or in the Johir's food chart explain. D is which type of food is not applicable for Dr. Raihan, that is included in Johir's food chart. Now come to question answer. Protein is the source of nitrogen. The question answer B, fish, meat, eggs, cheese, posset, liver, etc. are the source of animal protein. This kind of protein contains all the essential amino acids, that's why they are considered as high class protein or first class protein. The energy value of this kind of food is very high. Now come to question C. Question C will be your homework. That question answer you will get in page number 96 and page number 89 to 92. Now come to the question answer D. Dr. Raihan spent most of the time in the laboratory, so his body weight is increasing, so he is a moderate working person. On the other hand, Johir is an athlete, so he burns all the calories that he takes every day. He cannot take the same amount or same kind of food that Johir takes. Then Dr. Raihan should avoid the food rich in fat, sugar, starch, etc. He should follow a balanced diet chart which contains moderate amount of protein, minerals, carbohydrate and fats. He can take the food like rice, wheat, potato, carrot, pumpkin, cauliflower, cabbage, egg, chicken, fish, prawn, corn, etc. Dr. Raihan may not eat the food with high fat and oil, sugar that Johir eat, and such as mutton, beef, meat, then hilsa fish, kidney, then fast food, etc. Balanced diet must be made according to his basic metabolic rate, that means BMI and body mass index. That is BMI. Thus, Dr. Raihan can maintain his body weight by maintaining the balance of food chart. Now question number 2 is, Irfan Ali observed that the leaves of the grass in his garden were becoming yellow. Then the leaves, flowers and the buds of the flowering plant are falling off plants. So to solve these problems, he asked for help from a horticulturist, and horticulturist suggests that Irfan Ali applies some essential nutrient elements in his garden. Dear students, first one is what is micronutrients, and second one is what is the essential elements of plants. Third one is explain the causes of problems found in the grass of the Irfan Ali's garden, and fourth one is evaluate the suggestion given by the horticulturist. Come to the answer. The elements which are taken in very small quantities required from the normal growth of the plants are called the micronutrients. Now come to question answer B. About 60 inorganic nutrients elements have been identified in plants. Only 16 elements from 60 are very essential for the normal growth of the plants. These 16 nutrients are collectively called essential elements for the plants. Essential elements are classified into two types, macronutrients and micronutrients. Dear students, question C and D will be your homework. Then the grass turns into yellow. It is the symptom of chlorosis, and you have to write the answer from page number 86 and 87. And dear student, next question answer, that means evaluate the suggestion of given by the horticulturist, that the problem of Mr. Irfan Ali's grass becomes yellow, it is the chlorosis, and another one that is leaves, flowers and buds of the flowering plants falling off the plants, that is because of the deficiency of phosphorus. For this he have to apply some macronutrient into his garden, that means urea for nitrogen, TSP for phosphorus, and TSP for phosphorus, and another potash for potassium, fertilizer for the potassium. You have to write this question answer from page number 86 and 87. Dear student, this is your homework for Eid vacation. You have to write 10 MCQ from this part of the chapter, and along with this 10 MCQ you have to write CQ1C and CQ2 C and D as your homework, and you have to submit on 29th May from 9 AM to 3 PM. Dear students, I have finished my today's topic. Thank you. Allah.